Welcome to Dose of Wonder. I'm Caitlin, your guide on this journey through mindfulness, mental health, grief, and personal growth. Each episode will dive into honest explorations and gentle reflections to help you find moments of calm, clarity, and a little bit of wonder too. So grab your favorite cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's get started. Welcome to today's episode. I want to talk about something deceptively simple, but surprisingly complex. It's something called the 3 gates of speech. This is a framework attributed to Rumi, the Sufi poet you might know from his famous poem, The Guest House. And he has quotes and memes all over the internet. Rumi suggested that before you speak, or even before you post or send a message, you should ask yourself 3 questions, which are the gates. Gate 1, is it true? Gate 2, is it necessary? And Gate 3, is it kind? On the surface, these seem simple. But as soon as you try to apply them in the modern world, the complexity becomes clear. Let's start with the first gate, truth. In Rumi's time, this likely meant simply, do not lie. Be honest. Today, it's far more complicated. We are swimming in an ocean of misinformation and disinformation. Social media amplifies what evokes strong reactions, not what is factually correct. Algorithms create echo chambers where a statement feels true simply because everyone seems to agree. So asking, is it true, now isn't just about your own honesty. It's about verifying information, stepping outside your bubble, and taking ethical responsibility to avoid amplifying falsehoods. Even if your intention is good, sharing something you believe to be true, but which isn't, fails this first gate. Gate 2, necessity. This one feels like it would silence most of the internet if applied strictly. Most gossip, most trolling, most of the angry, reactive comments online, they aren't necessary. But we also have to consider what necessary really means. If necessity is defined only as survival critical, then nearly all conversation would disappear. No jokes, no small talk, no storytelling. And yet, communication is often about connection, isn't it? Even if a comment isn't strictly essential, if it serves a purpose, like building trust, sharing joy, creating human connection, it passes the softer interpretation of the gate. So necessity isn't about silence, it's about intention. Does this contribute positively? Does it strengthen relationships or add meaning? If not, maybe it's better left unsaid. And then comes gate 3, kindness. This is the ethical tightrope. If everyone consistently aimed to be kind, the world, and especially online, would be drastically less harsh, less trolling, less casual cruelty. But here's the rub. Truth or necessity sometimes collide with kindness. You might have to say something that isn't pleasant but necessary for someone's understanding, for their safety, or for your own mental health. Sometimes processing your feelings requires sharing a truth that might not be kind if overheard by someone else. Not to harm, not to gossip maliciously, but to find relief and clarity for yourself. In other words, the gates aren't rigid barriers. Truth is fundamental. Necessity helps you decide if it's worth sharing. Kindness is the ideal, the compass. But there are moments when your own mental or emotional health requires a deviation from perfect kindness. This nuance many people overlook. The 3 gates aren't meant to trap us in silence, but to guide conscious, intentional communication. They prompt reflection. Why am I speaking? What is my purpose? Am I reacting impulsively, venting, or spreading static? Or am I speaking with care, clarity, and intention? In the modern age, applying these gates consistently is challenging. Misinformation is rampant. Online discourse often rewards anger, pettiness, and reaction over truth or kindness. And yet, even in this messy landscape, we can use the gates as a compass, a framework for self-awareness. Here's a practical takeaway. Most of the time, the unnecessary cruelty, trolling, and gossip fail the first two gates anyway. Focus on eliminating those first. Save the nuanced ethical dilemmas for situations that truly matter, truths that are necessary for your well-being or someone else's. Ultimately, the gates invite us to make active choices every time we communicate. They remind us to pause, reflect, and ask, are my words true? Are they necessary? Are they as kind as they can be? And if not perfectly kind, is there a compelling reason that justifies sharing them? The three gates of speech aren't a rigid checklist. They are a guide, a compass for navigating the modern storm of communication. They encourage us to balance honesty, purpose, and compassion while also caring for our own mental and emotional health. So, before you type that next message, speak up, or post online, take a moment. Ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? And then decide consciously, intentionally, and with care. Because even in a world full of noise, even online, even in the heat of strong emotions, you can choose your words, and choosing them wisely can make all the difference. And that's it for this week's Short Dose of Wonder. I hope you enjoyed it, and next week I'll be getting back into the topic of mental health and technology. Until next time, don't forget to live with a dose of wonder.
In the stillness we begin, with stories stitched in softer skin. A spark, a sigh, a breath, a bend, a dose of wonder, like a friend.